point number 4, treifa. So treifa is so nevila. So many people can confuse too, and sometimes these two things are used interchangeably, even though it is not correct. And I'm not sure why, but those are separate things. So nevila is the one that died, and died on its own, right? Or it was slaughtered improperly, so it calls also nevila. Okay, so now we're going to a different definition. Treifa, mortally injured. So let's see the commentary. Although treifa literally means an animal assaulted by the wild animal, mortally injured, the halachas of treifa apply to any mortally injured animal, regardless of the source of their injuries. See Rambam, etc., etc. So like classic example would be like, I don't know, it was a sheep and a wolf attacked the sheep and he did not kill it, right? But he injured a lot. So it would be like this treifa, like classic example of treifa, I guess, right? But we use this word for a much broader definition. So let's see. Any animal or fowl which, as a result of the birth defect, the note says laws of treifa does not apply to fish. So fish is it's easy customer, right? Okay. There are some diseases in fish, right? So we in our Kosher Shulchan Aruch class we were talking about the worms. Worms is usually not a problem, right? But if the infestation from worms brings out the disease, that's a different issue. So it would be forbidden not because the problem is the fish, but because of the other laws that we must take care of our health, right? And not to eat, like not to damage our health with whatever damage is. So meaning, I don't know, like not to get sick, like in the winter or something, not to jump from the heights, and not to eat not kosher food, not fresh foods that would harm you, right? So all of these things would be under this category. Okay, so one more time, the animal or fowl which as a result of birth defect. So if it's and I don't think we're going to discuss it, but there are like I'm not sure if we're going to discuss it, but birth defect of some internal organs, right? That this animal would not survive 1 year, most likely would not survive 1 year. Okay, so that's in this category. A disease or inflicted wound suffered from a mortally defective organs or a limb or animal close to death. So one more time. So birth defect, disease, whatever, like it's not from birth, whatever disease is, or the inflicted wound. So that's self-inflicted. It fell, or I don't know, or something, right? Or human inflicted, whatever, from other animal, right? Suffering from a mortal defective organ, right? Something like I'm not sure what's the difference between disease and mortally defective organ. Okay, so the different category, or a limb, right? Defective organ or a limb, or an animal close to death. Maybe consider, you see they say maybe because, as we said before, there is some exception. If it's close to death, we'll see what is the difference. Close to death is considered treifa, so meaning sick animals, okay, or wounded animals. These defects are enumerated by Chazal based on Sinaic tradition. So once again, there is one commentary. It says, regardless of whether this is a result of sickness, old age, or frailty, the animal may be considered treif. So maybe, so we have to know. Right? However, many sages refrain from eating many animal close to death, even when halakhically permitted. See here, they are, and it's in several places. Rambam also said. So, are you allowed to eat? Yes, you're allowed to eat. But as we said in our different class, says anyway, even if something is allowed, the Torah said it is allowed, for sure is going to damage your soul. Okay, I think we said it in Kosher class last time. Okay, continue. For example, if animal lacking certain organs, and an animal with a certain organ walls perforated or certain bones fractured, is considered treif. So so when they open up an animal, so before soaking up the meat into the salt, right, washing, we need to check the organs and see if they're actually kosher. So, and what is the problem? They look for perforation, and from outside many times you would not see. So the animal was walking, let's say, right, and it was like sharp branch or something, right, and it like went through the stomach. You did not see, and perforated the stomach, very possible. So let's see. Thus, if one slaughters a kosher animal properly, it may be non-kosher if it is afflicted with any of these enumerated injuries. So you slaughtered, so it's not nevila, so because it was slaughtered, upon the check, and it's found to be treif. And a defect is not listed by Chazal, does not render the animal treif. So only whatever our Chazal, our sages say is a defect, is a defect. Other defect, and we're not going to cover in this book. Most likely, right? Because it's not our topic here. But some of the defects, like the animal would die like very soon. But according to our laws, it's not. There is not a problem. So, but as we said, this some sages, they were trying. And they recommend not to eat it. I mean, but if person is very, very poor, and that's the only food he's going to get, yeah, of course you're allowed to eat it. 1 second. So one more time, the whole sentence, very interesting. A defect not listed by Chazal does not render the animal treif, even if according to the current medical knowledge, the animal is certainly to die shortly. So we don't go by the medical knowledge. Conversely, so but if there is like some kind of disease, contagious disease in this animal, so it would, if it's a danger for a person's health, that's under different category. Not because it's not kosher, but because of the danger to health. Okay. Conversely, a defect that is listed by Chazal render the animal treif regardless of current medical opinion. So it's actually from Rambam, chapter 13. So they say current medical opinion is that with this disease, animal, it can take, I don't know, maybe they give some medicine, and it can live for another 100 years. So we do not care. Okay, so we're going according to the Torah, not according to what they tell us. Practical application. Although every animal and fowl are assumed to be free of any of these injuries, and need not to be examined, the lung of an animal must be examined after. Just one second. Not be examined. The lung of an animal must be examined after the slaughtering to ascertain that the animal suffer no abnormality that renders it treif. This examination is called bedika, or bedikas hareira, inspection of the lungs. So let's stop. Let's finish and then we return. The rules of treif of the greatest relevance to the through the slaughterhouse, but rarely affected the Jewish home. since most meats are delivered, prepared, and packaged, right, today. So in olden days, just so we understand, and Rambam explains, I mean, for him it was normal. I mean, for us, it was not normal. So the butcher would sell the meat, and it was not salted. So he would have to sell in like up to 48 hours. So every buyer would come home, and they would have to salt their own meat, right, and do all the other things. Very interesting. Today they skin it, this and that, remove all of the garbage. It's unbelievable. So let's read from the beginning. I mean, or we just summarize. So initially, if you like from like historical examination, you don't see any like defects. So you assume that the animal is healthy. I mean, it looks healthy. The eyes is healthy. Like mouth is healthy, right? So then we check lungs. So lungs is a big part of checking. And so when they say glad kosher, glad meaning like the lung is smooth without any like perforations. Okay, continue. Second point. One may find the broken limbs of Persian chicken. Generally, these are not kashrus problem. After shechita, chickens are handled roughly. They are hung by their legs from a conveyor belt, and it is common that the bones are broken or dislocated in the process. So they have to like take out the feathers, right? So they put chickens upside down after the slaughter and take out the feathers and do other things. So in the process of this, they might break a bone. So, but like almost guaranteed that this bone was not broken well, before the slaughter. After shechit, okay, 1 second. Continue. This is the cause of the most injury found in chicken today, and they are not questions of treifa, since they occurred after shechita. So that's a common knowledge, and we do not care. So in olden days, it's a classic example when a woman would come to a rabbi. So and that was common question, that people would come to a rabbi and ask if this animal is kosher, right? And he would inspect, and the leg would be broken. So in olden days, if it was a rich family, so they say, no, it's not kosher. It's not. Don't eat it, right? And if another woman would come with a leg broken, but it's from poor family, so he would say, yeah, it's kosher. So the onlooker would say, like, how is it possible? It's exactly the same chicken. What, a rabbi has a vision? He's a prophet? No, the answer, he's not a prophet. But in case of the meat, you can rule leniently because of the we don't know, right? Because we don't have knowledge, and in case of the doubt, you can rule leniently in the case of the meat. But in case of the rich family, why would you rule leniently if they can afford another chicken? But if you rule strictly in the case of this poor lady, so they're going to skip chicken for until the next Shabbos, and or maybe even more. So that's the thing, right? So, but today, all of this, the broken bones, it's from after the shechita. The general rule is if the bone is broken, the meat is surrounding the bone is not discolored. That's it, right? That's how you know. One may assume that the injury happened after shechita. Nevertheless, if the injury is found in a narrow part of the drumstick, one should consult Rav. Okay.